You need 5 things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to improve your WoW experience, and I guarantee you that if you do that, you will actually have a lot more fun in World of Warcraft. And not only that, you will improve as a player, cut down on wasted hours, and let me just show you.
The first thing on your list that you need is a goal. A goal in WoW will change everything, and it can be anything from
getting ahead of the curve or cutting edge, raiding to get that last boss, that achievement, that mount, whatever it is. Having that goal is amazing. Also, KSM or Keystone Master, you need to juggle those keys to get the plus 20s across the board, or whatever the level requirement to get your score will be at the time. Have that as a goal. And hey, you can also PvP, you can be a gladiator, and you can have the PvP goal as a goal. You can get the mount, you can get the title, you can just have fun, solo shuffle, battlegrounds, whatever you want, that can be a goal. And it can just be achievements in general. These are just examples that you can follow, but having a goal is so much better because you have a reason to log in instead of just logging in and just, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm just gonna pick up some herbs. I'm queuing for a dungeon with aimlessly like that. Listen, goals essentially will put you on the right path to actually get what you want in WoW and not have you waste a lot of time, because the second thing is to break the gameplay loop. Listen, when that feeling of burnout or doing the same old thing starts to kick in, if having a goal is not enough, go start a brand new character from level 1. It's one of the most refreshing things you can do, especially if you choose to level through Mists of Pandaria. You enable the music from the menu for this one and just embark on an amazing adventure exploring the characters and stories from that expansion. Purpose here isn't necessarily to level up to max, but rather enjoy a very pleasant single-player experience. And obviously you can do this with any expansion whatsoever. Get immersed in the story of that time. Enjoy the NPC dialogues, enjoy the progression through your garrisons if you want to do Warlords of Draenor, because let's be honest, Warlords of Draenor had some of the best leveling experiences ever. Whether you like the story or not, it was incredible. And it can be, once again, any expansion that you choose from. Just disconnect from the rush of endgame, from the rush of grinding, and just enjoy the actual, surprisingly, really good storytelling that some of the past expansions had to offer. Number 3, clean your goddamn UI. Dude, I've seen some monsters out there. Listen, a clean UI gives you a different gameplay experiences. First of all, it lets you immerse yourself into the actually beautiful world that's out there. You can play with whatever add-ons you want, and ideally probably just use the add-ons that work for you. I know that you have 10 friends and guild members that tell you to use X and Y, and unless you actually need it, like add-ons for mythic progression for a mythic raiding guild, then just don't use it. Try to limit the amounts of add-ons that you have and limit the amount of data on your screen. Actually take a while to look at the open world, the actual gameplay, spell animations, the sound effects that everything has to offer in the game without cluttering your screen with so many add-ons left and right. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of add-ons, by the way. You can have as many of them as you wish, but clean it up a little bit. Our advice is to move some of the information away from the middle so you can see your character, see the boss animations. The devs are actually doing an amazing job at animating and telegraphing bosses and mobs and things in the game, so you can essentially tell what's going to happen by just looking at the actual model. You don't have to do this, of course. You can play with raw amounts of data just looking at the matrix if that's how you enjoyed the game, but I'm telling you, taking the time to clean your UI and immersing yourself in the world is amazing, and you can actually experience the amazing talent that the art department has to offer in World of Warcraft. Say no to toxicity. We've heard this time and time again. WoW has so much toxicity. Toxic players will always exist. You can do your part if you wanted to report people and get that out of your system. You can probably do better by just ignoring people. The in-game ignore system is actually pretty good because, yeah, you ignore them, you don't have to engage with them anymore. Plus, you won't be able to queue up in anything that you do in your groups with that person again, because that is how the ignore system works. Another thing to reduce the toxicity that you encounter in the game is to join a social group and play with that social group. It can be a guild where you can just raid, progress, do dungeons, do PvP, whatever you want. You can do that with a guild. Guilds are still good, by the way. We use a guild to do pretty much all of our WoW stuff. And you can also have just a list of friends. for people who have people to play with. It can be one of those tanks that just tank really well that one time and you added them. It's like, hey dude, I like playing with you. Do you want to run some dungeons again in the future? Not everybody will say yes. That's fine. It's just how the world works. But hey, if 1 out of 10 people say yes, then eventually you'll have about 5-10 people to play with and you'll have to worry about pugging or queuing up with randoms. And besides these, there are a plethora of communities in terms of WoW. You can even search it through the WoW in-game system. There are Discord communities that you can team up with and ask people to do content with. There are communities that are active on the forums and you can find your guilds, which is why how we found our guild. You can definitely check the forums out to get some info on whatever group of people that you can join and play WoW will be. Another thing to remove a lot of toxicity, although, you know, it's still gonna be to some extent, is to play on a role-playing realm if you like to get really immersed into the story and you like role-playing in general. It's a different vibe than the normal gameplay. It's a little bit more engaged, it's a little bit more personal, and that's, if you're into that, go for it. Don't do it on a real realm where people can, you know, break your RP immersion by just being douches, but instead you can actually join a dedicated RP realm and just play there and have fun with people that share your interests. And speaking of realms, choosing a realm can sometimes be the defining factor between you encountering more or less toxicity. If you want peace of mind and just enjoy the game and not be bothered by right-clicking and ignoring 10 people every hour, then probably joining a chill realm is something that you should do. And similar to this, for rank 5, you need to start making your own rules. How many times have you logged into the game and none of your friends were online? The guild was busy with a raid or something and you were constantly getting refused in LFGs for keys. You don't have 10 hours to waste anymore and you want to get something done in WoW that has some meaningful impact, right? Start making your rules. Want to do a key? Start a group yourself. Want to do a raid? Start a group yourself. Sure, the first couple of runs will probably fail, but you at least get into the habit of finding people fast enough, something you are setting up, and eventually you will meet folks who can do a decent job and get you to time that key or have you push through a couple of bosses in the raid. This can also go for rare farming, mount farming, transmog runs, and so on. So instead of waiting for others to accept you in their group, be the one to make that group. You'll eventually start enjoying the game more because your time will be valued a lot more, even in incremental steps. And this can be one of the first steps you take towards getting into a more engaging social group. Let's say you don't have friends or guilds to play with, period. By making your own groups, you get to first play your spec that nobody wants to invite for some reason, I don't know why, and actually find people that are open enough to just play with anybody, and probably those are the people that you want in your list or want to be in the guild of. And by improving your gameplay, you will enjoy a better WoW experience to get that powerful feeling of being in an RPG, of slaying that dragon with powerful weapons. What weapons, you say? Well, in the history of WoW, there have been some amazing powerful legendaries that are pretty cool, and if you want to know what the best one is, the most powerful legendaries, you can check this video out where we approach all of the most powerful legendaries in the game, and we are right, and you're going to tell us that we're not by watching that video. Love y'all. Peace.